Alright, what's going on, traders? Welcome back to another video. Today I'll be going over some pre-market analysis and also how my day went trading. Um, Today is February 4th, 2026. Like I said, I'll go over my pre-market analysis. The stock I was looking at for the day, and also some live trading. So let's get into it. All right, so here on the screen we have the SPY 1 hour chart, and below we have the SPY 30-minute chart. So let's get into it. SPY rejected its area of demand yesterday and found its way to supply. Overnight bounce and now it trading in a range where it has found to be choppy previously. Let's see if sellers once again or if buyers step in and willing to pay these higher prices. So I emphasize the area of demand, an area where demand exceeds supply. So these rejection points where sellers are being more aggressive, rejection, 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 yesterday, rejection into an area of supply, has bounced previously in its supply, supply, and then its supply zone. So this is where the day was pre-market right here. This little area, as you can see with this red and green. Um, and I noted that it is trading in a range where it has found to be choppy previously. So it's being choppy right here. It's being choppy right here. It's being choppy. No direction. So this is an area that we kind of want to avoid when trading. We want to see, either uh, a bounce off of support, or you know, sellers being more aggressive and pushing the price lower. And so that's what I was looking for today, getting into the day. With huge moves up and down, we know that stocks like to gravitate back to these areas to give a chance to trade and provide liquidity, provide like transactions. So this is the area of choppiness. This is a more zoomed in picture, screenshot. Choppiness. This is the area demand, demand, supply, supply. So I would want to see a push down or either a push up. So market open, we had a huge push down, huge push to the downside, and I'm just wanting to see how this would react. So we find an area of support above the area of supply, which I think this was the fourth minute of the, or one, two, three, four, five. This was the fifth minute of the day. I wasn't looking to jump in and I was just trying to be patient. I didn't want to, I usually wait 5 minutes, go by when market opens to try to find a direction. And in this case, I let 5 minutes go by. I see it push up. I'm not willing to take you know, the first thing I see. I don't want to just jump into something, and then, if imagine if I had moved my stop, went break even, I would have got stopped out, right? It made a huge push up, but then it came back. If I would have had a stop loss down here, I probably would have been taken out. So, and then it ended up getting bought up. Yeah, getting bought up, having a huge moves up. Still haven't put my orders in. Oh, okay, now I'm starting to look at stuff. So I'm looking at the calls. I'm like, okay, what we have seen previously in the last 2 weeks is when something goes up, when SPY goes up, it goes up a lot. It goes up, it provides a small pullback, or if any pullback, and then has a continuation to the upside. Or if it has a huge move down, um, that huge move down usually goes for like yesterday, the whole day. So I was looking to take that into consideration with trading. If something was going to start pushing up, if it provided a pullback and a good entry, somewhere where I would consider fair value, I would look to have anticipate a continuation of that move and put myself at the best odds when trading. If I see buyers are being more aggressive and it pulls back, it pulls back like an instance here. If it provides a good sup- um, risk to reward, I'd be looking at in a confirmation, I'd be looking to take that trade uh, with with the the buyers or sellers that are in control at that moment. So we get a small push up, and then I'm starting to look at this. I'm starting to get interested. I see that it's creating. I end up noting this, and I was trying to figure this out at this point. I wasn't able to figure it out in the moment, which didn't end me, which didn't like. I ended up not executing. But as you can see here, what I'm gonna, I think what I'm gonna draw out. Yeah, I drew out that I'm seeing a series of higher lows, which is a bullish indicator. And then I see that buyers are in control. The buyers are pushing it up, creating higher lows, which they're willing to pay higher prices, and it's creating huge wicks to the upside. So sellers are also active in this area. And so pretty much what I was trying to figure out in this moment was who's in control of the stock, who's in control of the stock. It bounced off of support, buyers are pushing it up, but then we see it rejecting towards already the demand zone. Like I stated, when SPY has gone up, it has gone up exponentially and also down exponentially, and I want to play at the best odds. If this is going up, I want to see if there's an entry point going to the long side. And so I'm just looking to be patient and see what kind of move this presents. So I end up looking, as you guys can see on the bottom left corner, I'm looking for a short position. I change my shares, seeing if the risk reward makes sense to me, like if I'd be able to get in a good fill. I go back, I go forward, I mean zoom in, zoom out, trying to get a feel for the stock. And I'm like, okay. So what I'm seeing here is it creating another higher low. So we having a series of higher lows, higher low, push down, having a higher low. I'm like, okay. l- Pretty much I didn't commit to either side. I ended up not committing to a short trade and I didn't commit to a long trade. Pretty much, I guess I didn't feel confident enough taking on risk. And as you can see, it's pushing up nicely as well. I'm like, damn, like I was looking for an entry at one point, but then it's like, um, pretty much I was being hesitant. So what ends up happening? Oh, something happened on my screen, and then it comes down, bounces, makes another higher high. So it created its higher low, higher highs, and I'm like, okay, this is pretty strong. I want to see if the buyers will have a continuation of this move and possibly give an entry point. But what ends up happening is it completely crashes. From that candle, it almost it I had my shares, I had my like I was looking to enter it at this point, but I'm like, okay, this is a huge candle, it's been pulling back, been pulling forward. I don't want to put myself in a position where I purchase this and where's gonna be my stop loss? My stop loss would be the previous support level, you know, where buyers had purchased previously. So the risk to reward for me wasn't the best. So I had not getting into this move when it rejected out of my demand zone, which it did. I was interested in going short on this because it went into my demand zone, also pre-market resistance, and it was being rejected. it just the move happened too quick for me. I wasn't able to capitalize on it. Looking to see if it provides a pullback, an entry point, and then having a possible continuation to the downside. Looking to see if this goes up a little higher. You know, I you know, if I do get in here, if we're talking about trend lines, I'm gonna have to put my stop loss down here, and with the with the amount that I risk, I can't afford to do that. I can only really afford to risk like 10 cents or 20 cents. Um, but other than that, I can't widen my stop. I need a better for my plan, for my account size and for how I execute, I need to have like a little less of I need to not have the stop as wide, you know. So then I end up having a continuation, pretty much had a continuation and it just kept going. So what's pretty cool is this is my area of supply, this is my area of demand. I'm usually looking to buy in areas of supply and short at area of demand. That's mainly what my strategy is based off of selling pressure. Previous history, I set up these demand zones and I set up these supply zones, and it had perfectly rejected this area. I wasn't able to capitalize on it, but as you guys can see, it ended up going back to the supply zone. So this would have been a fantastic, in theory, trade, you know, if I was able to take it. Maybe for next time, I'm making these mental notes to be able to, learn from my mistakes and trying to see. Because one thing's for sure is history repeats itself, and I know something like will happen like this again. Maybe not anytime soon, but I'll know how to react, you know. Um, so it ends up pulling back. I'm looking for a entry. Is this a put? Yeah, so I'm looking for an entry short still. It's providing the pullback that I was looking for. At this point, I don't know what I was expecting. I was expecting maybe it to go a little higher, but this is already like 50% of the move. Whatever it had gone up, it just recovered 50% of the move. This would have been a nice time to trade. It's also trading at the volume weighted average price, and then it has these support levels where buying at one point buyers were in control in this area, and this is usually an area if it's bearish and sellers are in control. Uh, Usually buyers where they were once in control previously, if sellers are in control, sellers take over that area and it becomes an area where sellers are in control instead of the buyers. This would have been a great point to enter. I didn't though, but I think this would have been the second entry. This would have been a nice entry around here. And we can see, boom, it provided that jump and it just kept going and it kept breaking down, kept breaking down, kept breaking down. I didn't enter that pullback. I don't want to enter in this pullback. This like break and retest. This is kind of like a break and retest where it like breaks down a certain level. It broke down the supply zone. It had a nice little pullback. The thing is, I don't want to get into this type of I don't want to get in the habit of taking these type of trades because it's too far away from. It's already had a big move down. It's already had a big move down, and I'm not putting the odds in my favor when I'm trading. You know, it going down already 8 candles, going up one green candle, and then, anticipating, let's say, freaking if I have my target, it's gonna have to go down two, three, four more candles red, without having a pullback or a bigger pullback than that, just that candle right there. So I didn't execute on that. I wasn't looking to execute on that, but yeah, simple as that. What ends up happening is it has a huge move to the upside. I usually trade these pullbacks like if you guys have seen my previous videos, I love trading these like huge moves down and then playing the pullback. Today I got into that mentality of the short. I what is this? A SPY put? Yeah, so I'm just looking at puts. So I was looking play in the in the way of the trend. But the day that I don't decide on buying pullbacks is the day that it wants to have like a reversal. And I love reversals, like reversals, supply and demand, buying the dips, selling the highs, buying the dips, buying the lows, or trying to buy the lows. That's what I like to trade. Today I was more short biased, and as you guys can see, I didn't try to buy these lows, which in most trades, most of my trades have been like this. Me buying dips, me buying anticipation of reversals. But what has happened over the whole last week is we had a very strong uptrend week and providing no pullbacks, no reversals. So everything was just if you bought, you made money. It provided no entry points to the downside. But today, we as we can see, it provided an entry point and then ends up, as you guys can see, it ends up having a actual reversal. It ends up having an actual reversal. So what I'm trying to do here is based pretty much, yeah, like I was stating last week, no entry points. If you were looking for a long trade, it's gonna go long and it's gonna go up the whole damn day. And if you bought short, it's gonna go short and provide no entry points, and it's gonna go down all day. So I took this in consideration, and I'm like, okay, that's probably the type of market. That's the type of market we're in. If something is going down a lot, if sellers are in control, I would be looking to anticipate a continuation of this selling pressure. Based off of the history that it's been showing. So I end up getting into a position here. I'm looking for this area of supply to act as an area of demand. So pretty much this is where buyers stepped in. This is our area of supply now. This is our area in which buyers were once here, seeing if sellers will take over this pressure, just like it did over here. So it had its push up, pulled down, came back and retested it. An area once buyers were in control. Sellers are now in control of this area. Looking to see after these couple wicks, I'm looking to see if we can have a continuation to the downside. So that was my anticipation. And looking pretty much for a reversal. And I get stopped out. So this provided no pullback, and then I had a full. It pretty much recovered its whole entire move. It pretty much almost recovered its whole entire move. From where it broke down and recovered its whole move. And so I'm just like, okay, it's trading under the VWAP. The last time it was at VWAP, it got rejected. Looking to play this in my favor. It had a huge move up, seeing if we can have a another push to the downside. And I try it again. I tried again, look to see, and I guess stopped out. Yep, I guess stopped out. And then it ends up pushing down. So pretty much like my stop was tight. My stop was tight, but at the same time, what you're gonna end up seeing is like craziness. You see this? It just goes up, goes down, oh, up, down, breaks down, goes up. And what ends up happening is, let's see. What ends up happening is, it ends up breaking out of this. wiki um period of consolidation under this VWAP. Um, so yeah, I think I think I had a uh two good first ideas here. Well, this is an idea that I noticed after the fact, in complete honesty. But this is an idea that I was looking to take, you know, either me going long or short. I think it was a good area. There's a balance, looking for it to be in balance, buyers and sellers where, uh they were agreeing on price, creating this wickiness, just like over here, they were agreeing on price, and then sellers took over, and then in anticipation to the downside would have been a fantastic move. It would have been the move of the day, this one right here, you know. Also having my area of demand, knowing it was an area of demand, and that it creating this type of period of consolidation, it would have been an A plus setup. Looking to capitalize if I see something like this again, and if it sets up the same way, and then I'm able to find confirmation of sellers taking taking over. Um, this time I wasn't able to capitalize on it. This time, this next wiki area ends up breaking out. So uh, what ends up happening is, yeah, as you guys can see the chart right here, I got my chart open. It ends up breaking out, coming into this area that was previously, now we know that this is an area of rejection, so selling pressure, so buyers at one point were in control, sellers took over in the same area, sellers took control again, and it's just being extremely choppy. I think this trading day is just it's good that I walked away with um two manageable risk. I lost 2R today. Um, but I survived. I didn't keep trying it because the this amount of wicks, in complete honesty, with the account that I have and the amount I can, the amount of um the amount of like how much this goes up and down would have just kept stopping me out. So it's better that I I kept the day off, let this do its thing, and then see how the market opens up tomorrow. But yep, yeah, guys. So that pretty much concludes this video. I really hope you guys found this insightful. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys learned something from my mistakes. Uh, you know, so today was a pretty much it was uh, a day for either, if I was able to short that high, that demand zone that I had, that would have been fantastic. And if I was able to look for a reversal, well, also I know how to trade. I know how to trade reversals, so I would have been able to capitalize on it. But it just didn't work out today. I was trying to play with with how the market has been moving. Today it didn't work out. Managed my risk, looking to survive. I mean, I survived another day, and we'll be back tomorrow to try it again. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. And if you learned something, you know, liking would help a lot. Subscribing, sharing with somebody if you found this insightful. Thanks for watching.